I'm trying to find which background is best. Laundry in that room or
Hey, we are live, or we're going live. Let's see. I always like to check on my Facebook. Yes, we are. Okay. You guys ready?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm gonna
I'm
let
gonna start letting people in.
Here we go.
Welcome.
Hi,
Hello.
Talisha. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome.
Glad you're able to join us. Gonna give it a minute or so to let others
Sure.
join, and we'll get started. We'll be mindful of everyone's time.
You have a minute or so to reach out to some people.
Okay. Facebook. We're live. Join us.
get some music going, I think, next time. That's fun. Good to see everybody though. Yay. Awesome. Well, we're at 2 after. I'm
We can get
not certain.
started.
Want to get
Yeah.
started? That'd be great.
Yes, and we can always, people can jump in as needed. Okay, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Janae, and I'm here with Catherine and Juniper, and we're just going to share with you our journey to wellness and transformation that we took along the way. So it's been a wonderful journey for me. It started off something that I suffered in silence. I was someone that was a little bit embarrassed by what I was experiencing. So I went months and months without sharing it with anyone, but it got to a point where I couldn't do it. And what my health scare was, I had digestion issues. I can go long times without going to the bathroom, or if I did go, it was explosive. It was like a massive eruption. So I was kind of embarrassed to share that with anyone. So I finally, after months and months of suffering, I went to my doctor and I shared with her, and she was like, well, when we get to a certain age, our body no longer is like to tolerate, we have a tolerance for, dairy. She said, I suggest you remove dairy from your diet. I'm like, okay, it sounds like a good suggestion. So I removed dairy from my diet. Guess what? I was still having those issues. I mean, it got a little bit better, but I was still having the same issues. And and I don't know if you can imagine, and maybe you don't want to imagine. Can you imagine going days without going to the bathroom? How sluggish you feel? How tired? Like I would have middle of the day crashes. Like, I'm an accountant and, our work is not super exciting, but, after like a certain amount of hours, I was nodding off. And I just, and like I said, a lot of it was me just really too embarrassed to share it. So fast forward to, okay, I removed, milk, cheese, yogurt, all the things, but I was still having the issues. And so my doctor was like, well, we can send you to a specialist. And I'm like, I'm only 30 some years old. Like, what's happening to my life? I was like, in my mind, I was too young for this. And then I remember one day I was just I had joined a group of I did a leadership program, and we were in a WhatsApp group. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and Juniper, puts in there, God send you things when you need it. She sends a message in there like, hey, just how is everyone feeling? And I'm like, if you only knew. So I connected with Juniper, and she started me along this transformation journey of my health and me taking back my body and its normal functions and how it should normally function, not how Janae, ate what she wanted to eat and all the things that contributed to why my body couldn't process the food the way it should. So, and my life has been, so much better. I don't find myself crashing in the middle of the day. I find myself more energetic, ready to take on the world, a little animated, that's me, but just really at a place of, feeling good. And I realized I didn't have to suffer in silence. And I also realized that I had others that was suffering too. I have a daughter. She was suffering from very similar situations. And I decided to share my journey with her. And she's with us right now. And she took this transformation walk with me, and it was nothing like not going at it alone and having someone with you and seeing the impact that putting in the proper nutrition into your body, how it heals you from the inside out. And I wanted to introduce you guys to the person that, changed my life, opened my mind and my health to such a beautiful journey. And that's Juniper. Hello, Juniper. Share with, everyone your journey and how you came about this transformation journey.
Of course. Oh, Janae, I'm so honored. I didn't know all of those details as far as, the traction that we talk about, because yes, I was advertising, maybe not so much, but just reaching out, right? Like, how's everyone? Like, are you looking for the next level? So that type of like just conversation, really starting those conversations. I wouldn't know otherwise how else to reach out. It is kind of one of those topics that we don't talk about. But I was there myself. When you're saying all of these things, I'm really remembering myself as well. I didn't have regular systems that were on a schedule. It was something that I was so at the time when I started my journey, I was actually looking for help from my doctors, and they would look at me. I was asking, how do I get this out of my system, right? Because at the time, back in 2021, I had started with MRIs. They were wanting to do an injection so that way they could light up your brain like a uh, glow stick is what they'd called it. So adding a chemical or a contrast, so that way the MRI would show up if I had lesions. They were talking about multiple sclerosis was a possibility, and they wanted to see what's in your brain. And so I was like, okay, but how do I get it out of my body? And so that's really what set me on that. And it was also almost a year later that I actually found this superfoods and how to go through a detox protocol for heavy metals. And so as soon as I saw, I didn't even know that that's what I had stumbled upon until maybe like 3 or 4 months later. I had started actually with barley wheat, barley grass. I was big on doing organic superfoods in my shakes. I would make blueberries with greens, and I would mix that for my breakfast and have that I knew it was something healthy. I knew my body needed nutrition, and that was an easy way for me to get it into my system. And that was really something that, when Catherine introduced me to this, she was who said, hey, we've got some amazing greens. You should check this out. And I'm like, okay, let me finish up what I've got right now and I'll get back to you. And so I did. I finished up what I had. And then looking at the label, it was totally no brainer. It was obviously the best quality of nutrition that I could find on the stores. As I'm looking at the items after I got it, I was like, why am I trying to finish this stuff? Like doesn't compare at all. This is so much better. And so it's just so much more nutrition and energy. And then of course, as I was mentioning, I've done the so many different detox regimens, and that was really helpful because it helped a lot of the neurological issues that I was having. My nerve endings on my toes and such, those things were out of order. I was getting numbness in my toes, and really clarity was a big issue for me. I wasn't able to get my thoughts to my words. I was thinking I could see the thoughts running through my mind, but I wasn't able to kind of like grasp the words and put the words to like actually make them into a conversation. So that's improved so much, and I'm so grateful for this resource. Because it is something that I didn't know how good I could feel until I started this regimen and started to feel so good. So that was really a game changer for me. And that's, I knew at that point I had to share this with everyone that I knew because it was something that really impacted my life. And I wanted to make sure anyone that I knew would have the option as well to help their lives because it's been such a game changer on, countless different levels. I could probably tell you 10 or 20 different things that ailments as far as the aches in my body. Like you, Janae, I had gone through eliminating dairy out of my weekly process, my daily intake. And that was something that really helped with other things. I was dealing with a lot of pain and inflammation. I thought I had carpal tunnel syndrome because I was at the computer all the time and my hands were hurting. The doctor says that's not carpal tunnel, but we don't know what it is. Let's go take tests. And that's where the MRI started coming into play. So it was a journey, and it's been amazing to have these resources. So I'm just so honored to be able to share this with all of my friends and family. So thank you so much for being open to trying it for yourself and feeling how you feel. That's really empowering, definitely. Congratulations, and I'm so glad that your family is here with us and joining with you on your journey. It's so good to have team members, so to speak, right? Your family, like people that can be on your side that know what you're dealing with and do it together. That's really beautiful. So thank you for that. And I would love to pass it to Catherine. I'd love to hear about your journey and how you started. And thank you so much for introducing me to this superfood. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing. And I've learned a lot more about each of you in this call. So thank you for your openness and your authenticity. It really means a lot to because people they do struggle. Before I even start with mine, I mean, just hearing you guys speak on what you were speaking about, a lot of people find it embarrassing or shameful or all the things that come with those things, and if I have a hard time to share. So I'm grateful that you guys openly shared that way, because it's almost like, not that we need permission, but it allows others to see that they're not alone and to open up the conversation, to really find out where we get to go in our health journeys and what has prevented us from living a thriving life. So thank you for that. And also the family portion of it, to have it like our microbiomes are developed in our mother's womb. So whatever our mothers have, we will then have. And it's up to us to shift that. So generational healing is a thing. It's real. And when we heal ourselves and our guts and things like that, it's going to pass on to generations to come. So that's really amazing. So my journey started I would say in 2020. I mean, I was always on a healing journey because I did, my life was a journey in itself. And mine, I guess, would be the mental health portion of it. I didn't realize that I was struggling in that area until I did, until I was on the other side of it. But what happened was, for me, in 2020, we were in the middle of all the chaos that the world was in. And I had found out that I was conceived in rape. I'm adopted, and the story I had about myself was that I wasn't lovable, that I was rejected, all these things. So I lived a life not loving myself, not taking care of myself. I mean, I thought I was doing good because I was eating healthy, but I was a party girl. I did drugs, alcohol, smoked cigarettes, went to raves, did all those things, and dated all the wrong guys because I was looking for something that wasn't I just was looking for something. I was a seeker. I'm a seeker. Most of us are seekers. So I found out in that year that I was conceived in rape. So the story was a lie, and it kind of just really was a blow to my identity. And and then about a few months after, I also my work of 18 years at the time, I was working for the federal government of Canada. They were bullying, harassing, and discriminating against me for 13 years of my 20-year career. And it got so bad that they actually pushed me on to employment insurance. So I've never not worked. I started working when I was 16 at other jobs and worked all the way up to this point. So I've never had been on anything like not income assistance, but like, well, that did happen too, but on employment insurance. I never had done that. I was always working. So I felt like I lost another identity. And because of this, because of what all these things were it put on this mental strain on my identity, on who I was. And I was at the point where I was going to end my life in November 2020. So I came to a point where I was just like crying every day, and I fell to my knees, and I was like, and I wasn't raised in a house with God. I was raised in a house with atheists. So the struggle was real, seeking but not finding, or having guidance. So I actually fell to my knees one day in November, just before my birthday. And I was like, God, if this is if this is my life, I don't want it. And if you don't take it, I will. And in the same breath, I said, if it is my life, please take over. Because clearly I have no idea what I'm doing. And in that breath, in that surrender moment, it's like I heard him say, finally, finally, she's come to me. And now the communication lines were open. I was ready to receive the guidance that I've been needing and wanting my whole life. And I was led to Purium. I had followed some people in Purium, Allison and Jared. I followed them, and I followed our good friend Alice as well. I followed them for 3 years, and I saw them. I saw what was going on, but I didn't see it until that moment, until God was like, here, this is it. Like, this is what you get to do. So for me, it was like watching on the sidelines until I actually saw it for what it was. And it was, for me, I had to really dig deep into under. I was always that person was like, I don't have mental health problems. I don't have mental health problems. And it wasn't until then, when I surrendered, that I realized that I did at that moment. And for me, it was situational. And that's, mental health is situational. We do have a choice to get out of it. It's just a matter of what we do to do that. So for me, it was nutrition, it was mindset, and leadership. I was led to all these things that have been always around me, but I wasn't ready to see it. I wasn't ready to receive it. And it was in that moment that I received it. So I received the tools in nutrition, in hydration, in leadership, in mindset. And now I have written a book. I'm taking on the federal government of Canada for the bullying that they did. I'm standing up for other people that may not have a voice, or who are too scared to use their voice. And before, I would have never, ever been like this. I didn't even like the sound of my own voice before. And here I am now, being an advocate for people who are too scared to stand up. And I know God is using me powerfully, and he always had a plan. And I'm just so grateful to be here, because I am supporting others and taking back their health, because it all starts with us. And it starts with our mind, our mindset, our leadership, and our nutrition. If we're not healthy on the inside, which is our mind and our bodies and all the things, how can we support others and be in what we want to create in the world? How can we support others? Yes, it is a journey to get there. And that's where I come in. I come in to support people to do that. So that's just a little bit about me. Thank you so much. So, um, does anyone, I know that Talisha, you're on here. Did you want to share anything with a little bit about your journey? Are you open to that? Or, I mean, because I love that you're a mom and daughter duo here. It's okay if you don't. It's fine. I don't mean to put you on the spot. I just think it's so beautiful. So yeah, no worries, no worries. Maybe another time, okay? Yeah. It's all up to you. And I know we have some other people that have been on journeys. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming. It's been amazing. Does anyone have any questions? No questions? Does anyone want to share anything?
I'll share. I'll share. Yeah, thank you all for just being so vulnerable and sharing your stories. I related to the dairy aspect of it because I eliminated that from my diet as well, and doctor appointments, colonoscopy, endoscopy. And so I'm just so grateful to have these superfoods in my life. And I am less than 2 months in, and I'm already seeing the changes of my health. And I've eliminated wheat, dairy, corn products. That was a 12-year journey. And then I found these superfoods, and I'm like, I was healthy, so I thought, but why am I still feeling bloated and all these things? And it's just nice that I have this freedom now that I don't feel like I have to eliminate all these foods. I actually feel like I'm getting nourished and digesting. And I'm like, that's what digestion feels like. So I'm just so grateful for this community to be around you all. And it's just amazing just to hear the transformations. And I can't wait. I don't want to be off these superfoods. I want to be on these for the rest of my life. So it's just amazing. Amazing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's true. It's a lifestyle, right? Um, Health is a lifestyle. It's not like there's like quick fixes or anything like that. It's a choice. It's something that we're choosing every day. And you have a choice too to really, really take your health back. Like all the things we've been lied to. We've been lied to a lot about all the things that are out there, that we're meant to feel the pains and the joints and all the, the tiredness, the what's some other ones, brain fog and digestion issues. Like we're told that this is normal it's with age, or it's an allergy, or it's this or it's that. But those things, yes, they are real things, but we can be free of them. And by choosing things that are going to support our bodies. So we're here to support you in making in whatever choice you're going to take, but we're here to support that because that's what we're here for. There's a new there's just a new way of living. It's a new way of living, and it's freedom. To me, it's freedom.
Absolutely. It's so beautiful to tie that all together because, as you're mentioning, the doctors start pulling this and that, and grateful for doctors. I'm so glad that they have the diagnosis for us and they know to kind of point us in the right directions. But then at the same time, it's not always spot on because as we can tell, the my situation, I was actually malnourished when I started with this company. So I went from back in 2015, I was 60 pounds overweight, and I took it into my own hands, is like really took it down to nutrition wise. What am I eating? And I thought I was doing the healthy things. And then actually coming into this, I was cutting back on half servings. I was like, no, I don't want all the carbohydrates. I don't want all this. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to scrimp and make it within what I want. And then actually, I was doing myself a disservice because I'm realizing how much more nutrients are in these foods than there is in anything that I had ever experienced before. So it's definitely something that, there's some ideas out there, but we can actually know just enough to get ourselves in trouble. And I think that's where I was. I was at where I knew just enough to where I was losing bone density. I was losing, so that's on the scale. That's what you're seeing. You don't notice that your bones are getting weak or some what have you because you're not getting the nutrition that you need. So in my experience, that's what I had come to realize. And the brain fog, like you said too, I was just space cadet. I mean, my brain was not getting the proteins that it needed and the healthy fats. And so I love that about our nutrition now because it is complete nutrition with those proteins. It's all the healthy fats, the healthy grains, and like you were talking about with allergies and stuff. It's a lot of times don't realize it's the chemicals that are in our food system that our body is reacting to. And so by having some of these clean organic superfoods, we can actually incorporate something back into our lives that we thought were off limits. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, everybody. It's really an honor to be here with you guys.
Amazing. I was wondering, would you be open to sharing your before and after? Would you do that?
Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm not sure that I had them on this screen here. I'm gonna have to see if I can find them. Well, let's see.
I
But
think that
yes, I
would
will.
be an amazing, like, just because I mean, I met you when when you were on that journey. Like you had, wow, yeah. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
incredible.
It is. It's definitely a transformation for sure. I had a much larger frame. So this was my embarrassing me picture. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up. Hold on.
Can
Um,
you share your screen?
it's I may not be able
Oh
to. Let
no.
me
Okay,
get.
that's okay.
I'll see if I can sign in and get it loaded here because it's not on the computer. But I will
Okay.
definitely. I'll be right back.
Or maybe you can send it to me and I can send it. I can do it. Do you want to do that? I wanted to just touch on a few things because I just love that like with everything that people have experienced, it's like you don't know how good you can feel until you actually feel this good. And that's a big thing. Like a lot of people have misconceptions of, what they're like, they think, well, we're conditioned to believe that these certain foods are good for us. But like what Juniper was saying, like a lot of our foods are grown in nutrient deficient soil, and they have heavy metals, there's pesticides, things like that. So a lot of those things are actually counterproductive to what we're actually creating. So people are taking vitamins and supplements and doing all these things, but they're really actually not doing they're not doing their body a service. They're doing it a disservice. And so when we introduce clean foods, a lot of the times, um, I think we were actually discussing this earlier, like, because there's parasites in a lot of things, and parasites have a mind of their own. I believe that when we start introducing good things to our bodies start to fight back because there's the parasites and the things and the microbes that want to survive in your body, and now you're flooding it with this good stuff or putting stuff in that's going to remove them, that your body is actually going to start fighting back. And that's why I feel like a lot of people, they start taking in the good nutrients, and then they fall off. They choose not to do it anymore. And I think it's because my own experience, like my experience or what I've witnessed, is that it's because people are so toxic that their bodies are actually controlling them and taking them away from what's good. And I think it's just a thought of mine, but but yeah, that's what I've kind of noticed.
That is
And
an interesting thought because what I didn't share is when I first started, I started and my body was going through so many changes. I was telling Juniper I would fall asleep and things like that. And she was like, it's your, it's like my body was fighting it. But I know when I went back the second time, my body was craving it. Now I like crave the nutrition. Like, it's like, give me more. So you may be on to something there, Catherine.
yeah, it's like honestly, like I've just really I've really thought that when sorry, I can hear a dog. I'm just
Yeah,
saving the pictures.
great. I don't have the option to share the screen, so definitely it'll be in your inbox there.
Okay. How do I save? Oh, save all. There we go. Okay, so let me just get these over to my computer. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, thank you for
Oh
sharing
my
these. Oh my gosh.
gosh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. And then can you guys see my screen? I think I have
Yeah.
a lot of stuff on here. Let me just close this. Okay, I'm not sure why that's up. Oh, that's because the pictures are there. Here we go. Can you guys see these?
So that was me doing it by myself, right? So I went in a course of probably it didn't take 3 years to get, that belly gone, but it was definitely not all the way gone. And so it was, my grouchy face still was there. I'm still not happy.
And
And
then,
in 2022, I definitely found Purium at the beginning of 2022. And so this was still before I had really delved really deep into it. But then being a year committed and doing the lifestyle and doing the, every 90 days, this is what the results were actually available to me as. So it was really awesome. I was super proud of myself. Yay. But I was so
yes.
embarrassing.
No, it's amazing. Your transformation is so powerful. And this is why we do what we do. This is why, how do I unshare now? Stop share. I mean, there we go. This is why we're doing what we're doing, right? Like, look at your transformation. You can't deny that. There's no denying that. It's beautiful. It's powerful. You are amazing. You all are amazing. And because you guys are saying yes, you're saying yes to others. You know, when we deny ourselves, we're denying others. And this is the freedom that comes with our yeses.
Well, thank you so much. That's definitely inspiring. And it's not easy to share some of these pictures. And when I first took like the original one back in 2015, there was no way I was ever going to share that with anyone. And now I'm like, okay, it's out there. But yeah, it's definitely something that we get to be proud of and like you say, share with others because other people need this as much as I needed it as well. So thank you for sharing with
Absolutely.
me.
Beautiful. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for everyone for coming. Does anyone have any last comments? Anything they want to share quickly before we wrap up? Okay. Well, thank you again. Um, get in touch with the person that invited you if you have any questions. We are always here to support you. And if you're watching the replay, tag it, hashtag replay, and let us know if you have any questions about anything. Oh, Karina's coming in now. It's my friend from Ontario. Um, Hi, Karina. We were actually just finishing up. I don't know if you can hear us. We were just getting finished up, but thank you so much for joining. But yeah, I will have a replay. It's on my Facebook, and I'll also send out the link to everyone. But yeah, thank you again so much for coming, for being a yes, and just being here with us today. Bye, everyone.